Teresa Bowles is in Greenville County today. You'll have to tune in and see where she's heading. So we're always running wild here, but I hope everyone is doing well. It's so good to see y'all. I know we got, 2 minutes maybe until we're on air, so hope you can join us at 4. And everyone's getting outside, enjoying that sunshine, and hopefully it sticks around. Fingers crossed. I don't know, Kendra, will it? Maybe. For a little while. For a little while, at least. So get excited. Anyway, good to see you guys. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you at 4. Bye. Literally, I'm going to start pulling the Kendra Kents. That's so much easier.
Fox Carolina, the 4 o'clock news starts now.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to hit the pause button on this weather. This is gorgeous. I'll show you how long it's going to stick around and when winter blasts back in.
And just into our newsroom, DPS releasing their report on a deadly crash that killed a state trooper and another driver in Rutherford County last month. We'll tell you what this report is revealing about the seconds leading up to the crash.
And only on Fox, more than 100 dogs seized after a bust in Pickens County. How it all went down and how those dogs are doing at this hour.
And we begin with breaking news. The Department of Public Safety releasing the report in a deadly crash involving 2 state troopers and another driver. On January 3rd, Trooper James Horton was responding for backup to his brother, fellow trooper John Horton. It was on a traffic stop when he ran off the road, hitting his brother and that driver, Dusty Beck. Today, DPS released the report showing Trooper Horton was going 70 miles per hour. At the time, he crashed into his brother and into Dusty Beck. The report also states Trooper Horton and the other driver, Dusty, were in an active physical confrontation in the road. That is the reason he was going emergency backup at the time of that crash. Now, there's a lot more to get through this report. It's about 5 pages long. There's a lot of things we have to decode through it. And of course, we'll bring you more of that coming up tonight on the 10 o'clock and the 11 o'clock news. Well, the effort to legalize medical marijuana in South Carolina took a big step forward. Legislation passed the state Senate yesterday in a 28-15 vote. It was really late last night. Senators spent 7 days debating the bill. Republican Senator Tom Davis says his proposal is one of the most conservative in the nation. The bill includes restrictions on how the drug can be consumed, how much a patient can have, and which illnesses can be treated. Following one last procedural vote, the bill now goes to the House. Well, a developing story. It's all cleaned up now for the most part, but this was the scene in downtown Greenville yesterday. A massive water main break there had people evacuating. A nearby hotel had people without water and many roadways shut down. But the water has since receded and now it's just cleanup.
We looked out our window and we saw a river going down Red Street. And we looked behind us in the railroad tracks and there was actually a river from there. And then we looked a little closer and we saw a major water main break.
And again, all the water is gone, but that cleanup continues. That's some of the aerial shots from our drone yesterday. This was all near Academy Street, Red Street, and North Markley Street.
Only on Fox, more than 160 dogs are now being cared for by animal rescue groups after deputies say they were being kept in awful conditions. Only we were there on the scene along Tater Hill Mountain Road. You could see that aerial view from our Fox drone this morning showing the property. Deputies tell us they were tipped off about this possible neglect, and they discovered hundreds of dogs living in deplorable conditions and were not properly housed. Even during the winter weather we saw in January. It's just terrible to think about. Ultimately, deputies removed 166 dogs there. They're now in the care of several local shelters. Deputies say Judith Brown is charged with 2 counts of ill treatment of animals. We'll have a full report about how you can help those dogs coming up at 5. And we are looking at ways that you're adopting a pet that's really the right way. It's being done the right way. We are committed to you, so we wanted to break this down. According to the Better Business Bureau, start with a local rescue or an animal shelter. Make sure to do some background checks on that shelter, like look at their name and also look at maybe some reviews or complaints. Pay close attention to see if the photos of the animals that they have on their website are actually real photos and they're not stock photos. And also try to meet those people at the shelter in person if possible. And double check payment is not with a gift card or a wire transfer. That's when you know something just isn't right.
Well, Chief Meteorologist Kendra Kent joining us. Beautiful afternoon out there. You really can't beat this weather in February.
Oh, we love it today.
It's a little spring fever.
Yes.
Everybody's out, smiling.
Just gotta like pep in your step a little bit.
It's a good hooky kind of day. I don't know if anybody did that, but you know.
Not us, unfortunately.
No, of course not.
We're
Never.
here. We got
But
you.
you might want to take it. Maybe your boss won't mind if you leave a little early today and enjoy some of this weather. It is gorgeous. Well, Greenville, what happened to you? You just disappeared there. But it was 66 degrees. Sometimes that happens with our temperatures. 64 in Spartanburg. We're at 59 for Asheville and Hendersonville. So near 60, even up in the mountains. Sitting at 65 for Gaffney. And a lovely 66 in Abbeville. Over the next 12 hours, yes, it will get cool again. As the sun goes down, we'll be back down into the low 50s by 8 o'clock, but no need for a heavy coat for your dinner plans. But you may want that decent jacket toward tomorrow morning as we're going to get back into the 30s as we get closer to the 4 a.m. hour. In the mountains, dropping to the 40s by around 8 o'clock tonight. So, yes, getting chilly as that sun goes down. It's because of the dry air we have in place. It cools down quickly, but also heats up quickly during the day, and then we'll have 30s into the late night hours. In your weather headlines, a warm February Friday, at least by February standards. We're going to be well above normal for this time of year. Mild through Saturday, but a front will be on the approach. You'll notice extra clouds. It'll just kind of look different outside compared to the beautiful blue sky we've had. And then on Sunday, that's when we can have a couple showers in the upstate early and maybe a snowflake or two in the mountains. This doesn't look like a big system on the way for us. So this spring feel in February, definitely not normal. Tomorrow, I'm going 67 for the upstate and 62 in the mountains. That's 12 degrees above normal in upstate spots. So enjoy it. It's not going to be around forever. I'll show you when winter blasts back in coming up. But first, let's go on over to Chris Scott for a check of our roads.
All right, Kendra, thank you. We are working on a couple of things here. Greenville County is very busy this afternoon at this hour. We have a stalled vehicle over in Anderson and one over toward the Cherokee-Spartanburg County line. But as of right now, these accidents in Greenville County are the ones that we're following, and they're in progress right now. Looking first at Whitehorse Road at Fairfield Road. We have one at Haywood Road at Orchard Park, Old Buncombe Road at the Brooks Avenue area, and Wade Hampton Boulevard at 291. So keep all of those in mind if you happen to be heading out from work or to work or out for the evening. Those are areas you'll want to be watching out for. 85 north at exit 70. This is at I-26 in Spartanburg County. Travel conditions right there are good and no delays.
Chris, thanks. So Fox Carolina is committed to getting you answers, and we are going through the roads you request one by one. This week, we're in Greenville County on Gulliver Street. Starts near 385 in Fountain Inn and ends at Highway 418, crossing slightly into Lawrence County. Drivers tell us the potholes on this road have been there for a long time, especially around the intersection there of Industrial Boulevard, and they're just hoping to bring some attention to Gulliver Street so it can be fixed. Fox Carolina's Teresa Bowles taking a live drive to show you that problem area.
Right, we're at a stop sign right now, but we're about to cross Industrial Boulevard. That's kind of where those problems start. We're turning there now at Zion Baptist Church. There are these bumpy patches. If you look close to the left, there are a lot of cars here. It's pretty busy. And it's not a checkered look there due to so many patches. As you can see, and the patch right here as you cross Industrial, that's the that really stands out. It gets bumpy in this area. And drivers tell me this road has been lined for far too long. So hear the response from the community and the response from the SCDOT ahead at 6. Back to you.
And we are going through all the roads that you send us one by one. So if you have another road you're concerned about, you want Teresa to look into, just scan that code and fill out the form.
Well, the impact of supply chain shortages can be felt across the country, including the farming industry, how it's affecting the Carolinas.
And what happens when you lose access to your social media accounts? Our investigation team is going in depth in a special report.
Well, welcome back. New details. Supply chain issues are affecting farms, not just in terms of what they're supplying to customers, but the supplies they use. One of the most essential tools in agriculture is fertilizer, making up 15% of all farming cost. But since September of 2020, the cost of fertilizer nationwide has spiked up to 300% as demand for ingredients like ammonia and nitrogen has soared.
It's a constant struggle. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like a poor man, but it's a constant struggle right now in the farming world.
It's just hard on all the long-time farmers, the family farmers. They can't compete with the huge farms. They get a lot of the government subsidies, things like that.
Now, some farmers are concerned the fire that destroyed the Weaver fertilizer plant in Winston-Salem last week could impact the state supply chain, making the surging cost even worse. If prices don't drop soon, some in agriculture say they're afraid smaller farms will have to close. Well, agriculture is leading business in the Carolinas. There are more than 52,000 farms and 8.5 million acres of farmland in North Carolina. In the Palmetto State, there are 25,000 farms with 4.7 million acres of farmland.
Fox Carolina weather. Weather Rate certified most accurate local forecast.
Well, how much are you loving this weather? I know there's a handful of you out there that would rather it just be cold in February, but isn't it nice to get a taste of spring in the middle of the month? I always like it. 65 in Gaffney, 65 in Anderson, upper 50s for the Asheville, Hendersonville areas. But for Valentine's Day, it will cool down. So just know that that is coming. A chilly, winter-like feel will be back in the forecast, but not for a couple days. It's all calm on the radar right now, and temperatures tomorrow morning will definitely be reminiscent of winter. A good reminder that's the season that we're in, but by the afternoon, you may be questioning that. 35 in Lawrence, 31 for Hendersonville, and look at these highs for the upstate and mountains on Friday. All of us seeing 60s. And then it's going to be warm again on Saturday, just some extra clouds in the mountains and highs in the upper 50s, and then much, much cooler in the second half of the weekend at 50 in the upstate. And only 38 in the mountains. Might even get a few snowflakes early on in the morning on Sunday, but that would be up in the high mountains of western North Carolina. So let's look at Futurecast. Notice Friday, we stay nice and dry. Saturday, we'll start to see a few sprinkles in the mountains. This system's not going to have a lot of moisture with it. In the upstate, I expect us to stay mostly dry. May see a quick light shower overnight, but nothing to be concerned over. Temperatures in the upstate will stay above freezing overnight. But in the mountains, we might get some snow. There's 7 a.m. This would be quick, though. It shifts eastward fast. Cool air settles in, and that's going to be the big story going into next week. So let's plan out your weekend, shall we? It's going to be fine to be outside most of the day on Saturday, and it's going to feel good too. So that's really the pick day to enjoy some time outdoors, because by tomorrow or by Sunday, you're going to have a much cooler situation on your hands, and there's going to be a chance for a little bit of rain early on, but the afternoon should be dry all across our area. So over your next 7 days, notice that Valentine's Day will be quite chilly in the mountains with highs in the low 40s. Good snuggling weather, as we like to say, when it's cold on Valentine's Day. Teens, in fact, to start it. In the upstate, we'll be looking at highs in the 40s as well, but then it will warm up through the rest of the week with a chance of rain by the time we get into Thursday, but we'll enjoy those 60s while we still have them Friday into Saturday. Of course, you can always head to foxcarolina.com for your interactive radar and latest forecast. Now let's go on over to Chris Scott to look at those roads.
All right, Kendra, thank you. Greenville is surrounded with accidents all around the area. We have a couple of new things to tell you about as well. One at Pelham Road at Garlington Road, and Lawrence Road at Innovation Drive has just been listed there. Also, US 25 or Whitehorse Road at Fairfield Road, Haywood at Orchard Park, Buncombe Road at Brooks Avenue, Wade-Hampton Boulevard at 291. Again, all of these around Greenville County, and they are the busiest area right now. Bible Church Road in Spartanburg County at Duncan Bloom Lane, and a stalled vehicle, 85 South, exit 83 at Truck Stop Road. Never a good time for that. Hopefully it's not going to be too long, and we'll be out of the way for you soon. 85 north and south, Spartanburg, exit 29. The mile marker 66 area looks good, and travel is good until you get down to Pelham Road. Starts to slow down. We'll show you that again coming up in a few minutes.
Chris, thanks. Facing growing pressure to ease up on pandemic restrictions, the White House making plans for what they call a less disruptive phase of the response. The president says he's waiting for new guidance from federal health officials who still recommend that nearly all Americans wear masks. However, this comes as many states just made it clear they aren't waiting for Washington, as people are getting frustrated. Clearly feeling the pressure, the White House says conversations are underway to develop plans for guiding the country away from the emergency phase of the pandemic. And this could be more welcoming news. One of the nation's top health officials says there's hope the pandemic won't last forever. Fox Carolina's D.C. Bureau spoke with the nation's Surgeon General. Take a listen.
I would say that for all of those folks out there who are looking at this Omicron wave and saying, gosh, is this going to last forever? Are we going to be in this pandemic for many years to come? I am actually hopeful that the answer to that is no. That doesn't mean that there won't still be COVID floating around. It doesn't mean that we may not have periodic waves. But I actually think we are starting to move from a phase where our life was defined by this virus.
The Surgeon General says vaccines, medicines, and high-quality masks have been highly effective.
Now, one thing the pandemic is still impacting is our blood shortage, and our state health agency urging everybody to donate if you can. Now, we have told you before about just how low the stockpile is and still is. We asked DHEC officials if those who've been infected with the Omicron variant of COVID-19, if they should donate. And they tell us yes, but there are some things to keep in mind.
All eligible individuals are strongly encouraging. I am strongly encouraging them to donate blood because there is a severe blood shortage nationwide going on at the moment. But again, once that 10 days has passed, once the symptoms have completely resolved, I definitely encourage blood donation to help save lives.
And if you're interested in donating, we have a list of locations to do that inside of our Fox Carolina News app. And many of our lives are tied to social media. But what happens when you lose access to your memories and maybe even your business connections? Our national investigative team found thousands have complained to the federal government they've been hacked and they can't get back into their Facebook or their Instagram accounts.
Fox Carolina's national investigator Rachel DePompa exposes how small businesses lose big and has some tips for all of us if we get locked out.
All right, now you're going to meet me in the middle and we're going to do some sort of pose.
A videographer.
And pose.
A seamstress. They linked their lives to social media and now share the same problem. They're locked out. People use these platforms to stay in touch, to share memories. In the past year, 13% of people detected unauthorized access to a social media account, according to a Norton Cyber Safety report. Teresa Harmon knew instantly on Labor Day of 2020 something was wrong with her business's Facebook page.
And I put in my email and it was changed. It was something Hotmail, and I've never had a Hotmail account in my life.
Harmon says she reached out multiple times to the company through email over the last 15 months.
I didn't get any kind of response.
We went on both Facebook and Instagram and could not find a customer service number. Facebook itself says it hasn't had live support for lockouts, but it is testing a live chat feature. We emailed both Facebook and Instagram, and we still have not heard back. After no response from Facebook, Harmon complained to police about the hack and also the Federal Trade Commission. She's not alone. The agency started tracking identity theft on social media 5 years ago. Since 2017, the number of complaints has doubled. The FTC calls the crime profile hijackings.
This actually is my favorite because it's the first lens that I ever bought.
Quentin Gray used his Instagram account to promote his production company. It was hijacked 2 years ago.
So I had to start completely over. I lost 1,300 followers.
Once the hacker took over the account, they posed as Gray and messaged his friends with a fake opportunity. One person fell for it.
And he was like, dude, I gave you my money. Now where's my money? I was like, what are you talking about?
Did Instagram help you?
No, not at all. They gave me the typical articles oh, well, maybe this will help, or do the double verification, but because of what the person did, I couldn't. And just keep walking away from me, go under the cabana.
He ended up starting over.
How hard is it to get an account back?
Oftentimes after a social media account gets hacked, there's not a lot you can do.
Alex Nettie is the CEO of Hive Systems. He's been in cybersecurity for more than a decade, often working with federal and state agencies.
Companies have kind of almost let this go to the wayside.
As consumers struggle to get help from Facebook and Instagram to recover their accounts, experts say front-end protection is key. So here's how you can deter hackers. First, turn on multi-factor authentication. It's in the security features on both Facebook and Instagram. It sends you a code on your phone every time you log in to a new device. And as tempting as it is, do not reuse the same password for multiple social accounts and make that password difficult. If you have to, write all your passwords down somewhere and keep it in your house, but don't carry that password book around with you. If you get a notice someone tried to get into your account, change your password immediately, but make sure it's completely different. Just changing one letter or digit won't do the trick. For Investigate TV, I'm Rachel DePompa.
And of course, you can always stay up to date with us through our free Fox Carolina News app. Well, another brush fire sparks out west, this time in California. We'll take you there next.
And we are learning how Bob Saget died, what his family released about his tragic passing.
We are back with Fox's Four-Legged Friends, and we were just talking about the best way to adopt a pet is to adopt local and from an organization you trust. And I'll tell you what, all of the organizations we work with are just 100% amazing. We love Spartanburg Humane Society as one of them, and today we have Atti with Spartanburg Humane Society. And this is a Calico Kitty. She's about a year old. I have a soft spot for calicos because my first cat was a calico named Emma. But I love little Atti. She is just beautiful. You can tell she is not really excited about her photo sessions there. She's a little shy at first, but once she gets to know you, she'll actually roll on her back and show you her belly. She loves to be petted, and the way to her heart is canned wet food. So if you've got that,
easy peasy.
She will love you back. She likes to chit chat as well. So she's a vocal gal, right around a year old, and yeah, she's just a little on the shy side. So that can make it tough.
Oh, look at that.
I know, right? She's like, please, can you just get that camera
away from me?
Yes. Well, she's too good for that. You don't need to be doing that. But they just want to get her a good home, so they had to give her a photo session. But
she's a little doll. I love that name, Atti. Yeah. I just kept saying it to myself. It has a nice ring to it.